Good day, everyone. I'm Stan Goldstein with Kates-Boylston. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the webinar, How to Personalize Your Funeral Services for the Modern Customer Using Digital Technology. We're happy to be joined by Jeff McCauley, the CEO of FuneralScreen. Please submit any questions you have during the webinar. There's a questions tab on the right side of your screen, and Jeff will answer them at the end of the webinar. Jeff, please take it away.
Thank you, Stan. I'd like to thank everyone for joining me today. And we'll get started. As Stan said, my name is Jeff McCauley, and I'm the CEO and founder of FuneralScreen.com. Our webinar today will guide you on how to revolutionize your funeral home services, leveraging cutting-edge digital tools and technology to deliver an exceptional funeral services that not only increase customer satisfaction, but also set your funeral home apart from your competition. You'll gain valuable insights into the future and benefits of offering personalized funeral services to deliver more meaningful experiences. For decades, I've been rethinking ways to modernize funeral services. Today, I hope to show you some of these ideas and help you to do the same. As a kid growing up in a blue-collar neighborhood on the southwest side of Chicago, my curiosity about the death care industry started at an early age. I remember sitting on top of a dumpster in the alley behind a funeral home near my house to try to get a peek inside what would turn out to be their prep room. I never did see anything interesting since it was a glass block window with wavy glass. Fast forward to my early 20s, where I got a second job working part-time at a funeral home in Chicago. My brother was working there as a licensed funeral director and embalmer. My responsibilities included sitting wakes and making occasional removal. This was at a time when you didn't need to be licensed to make removal. I did that for about a year. This was my first job in the funeral industry. Later, I moved into a career as a manufacturer's rep, working for various technologies companies in Illinois and Wisconsin. Then around 1994, my brother approached me with the idea of starting a new business and building a new funeral home in Bolingbrook, Illinois. He asked me if I'd be interested in investing in this new venture. I agreed, and construction was started on the new building. The funeral home was opened around 1995. In the beginning, being a new business starting off, it was just basically my brother and his wife to keep the payroll down. Since I lived in the same town as the funeral home, I would assist him with house calls at night when he needed my help and sit wakes to give him a break. I derived so much personal satisfaction from the emotional connection I had made with families at the time I spent with them sitting wakes. I knew this would be my calling. As the business grew and needed more help, we discussed the possibility of myself coming into the business. At this time in my career as a manufacturer's rep, I was doing quite a bit of traveling, which I'd grown tired of. So I made a plan to enter into the funeral industry. I would attend Worsham Mortuary College in the day and sit wakes in the evening till I served my apprenticeship and attained my license. I graduated from Mortuary College in 1999. and was now a licensed funeral director and embalmer in our business. Let's be honest, funeral directors have a reputation for kind of being stuck in their ways. My grandfather did it this way, my father did it this way. That's the way it's always been done. Working within my own funeral home, I experienced these same challenges too. My brother worked for years in another funeral home with traditional training. My training wasn't. I remember him telling me to never wear the color red. I understand the reasoning behind it now, but at the time he told me I didn't. He said, it's too festive, it's too disrespectful. I thought at the time, that's kind of silly. Really? How could a color be disrespectful? Here's another example that comes to mind. Within my own funeral home, we display tribute videos in the back corner of the visitation room on a television screen that sat on top of a rolling cart. People would pass by the casket and the families to pay their respects, and then they'd stand at the back of the room to watch the memorial tributes play on the television screen. And I would think to myself as I observed this, why not have the screen up front? After all, the chairs are facing forward and everyone's focus is directed towards the front of the room. Makes sense to me. Sometime later, while in a discussion of how we were going to remodel and update the room, I suggested installing the TV screen on the wall above the casket. I could still remember my brother saying, "You can't do that. That's disrespectful. The people's attention needs to be focused on the deceased." While my thought process is, why not immerse the families and guests with images of the deceased in life while they're sitting in their chairs looking forward? I didn't find it disrespectful. I thought it would be powerful, emotional, and bring focus to how they lived their lives. I thought my brother just needed to take a step outside his comfort zone. Eventually, he agreed to my suggestion. We removed the dated drapery on the wall behind the casket and installed a TV screen above the casket. Families and guests would now see the decedent's life in pictures prominently displayed on the screen above the casket during wakes. Guess what? The families and guests absolutely loved it. There was a substantial increase in memorial tribute video sales. Families now viewed memorial tributes as a normal product of a funeral service, not a luxury add-on item, just like prayer cards and register books. If done properly, change can be profitable and be positive. In the warmth of our comfort zone, life feels safe and familiar. More often than we care to admit, finding the motivation to leave is hard. But the more we're stuck in our comfort zone, the more opportunities we miss to fully immerse ourselves in the human experience. Learning how to get out of your comfort zone takes willpower and a change in mindset. Each step you take to expand your comfort zone leads to personal growth, learning, and success. What are some of the benefits of early adoption and embracing innovation? Well, you get to play with the latest gadgets before anyone else does. You find ways to increase customer loyalty and improve workflow. And you get ahead in business while others struggle. What is some of the roles of technology in modernizing funeral homes? As technology continues to advance, its role in modernizing various industries, including funeral homes, becomes increasingly significant. Here are some ways technology is modernizing funeral homes. When it comes to online planning and arrangements, funeral homes can now offer online platforms and software that allows families to plan and make arrangements remotely. This technology streamlines the process and makes it more convenient for grieving families who may not be able to visit the funeral home in person. Digital records keeping. Traditional paper-based records keeping has been replaced by digital systems, which allow funeral homes to maintain detailed and easily accessible records of past services and client information. This improves efficiency and helps with compliance and legal requirements. Live streaming. With the advent of live streaming and video conferencing technologies, funeral homes can now offer virtual memorials. This allows mourners who cannot attend in person due to distance or other reasons to participate and pay their respects remotely. We've seen that during COVID. Digital directory signs. Funeral homes are now utilizing digital screens to enable families and guests to be greeted by personalized directory sign that displays photos of the deceased, along with a background theme that reflects the lifestyle or profession of that individual. Digital guest books and condolence platforms. Funeral homes are utilizing digital guest books and these platforms to enable friends and family members to leave messages of support and condolences online. Guests can scan a QR code with their smartphone right at the directory sign and sign the guest book for a no-touch guest book signing. This eliminates long lines at the register book. Additionally, guests can add messages that can be preserved as a lasting tribute to the deceased. Memorial websites and social media integrations. Funeral homes create memorial websites or integrate memorial pages with social media platforms to share memories, photos, and stories about the deceased. These online memorials provide a space for sharing, grieving, remembrance. Virtual reality and augmented reality. Some funeral homes are exploring the use of virtual reality and augmented reality AR technologies to create immersive experiences that celebrate the life of the deceased. VR can take mourners on a virtual tour of significant places or events in that person's life, providing a unique and personal way to remember them. Eco-friendly and sustainable options. This technology has also played a role in the development of eco-friendly and sustainable funeral options such as biodegradable urns, green burial alternatives, reducing the environmental impact of traditional funeral practices. Digital payment and financial planning. Funeral homes are adopting digital payment systems to facilitate transactions securely and efficiently. Additionally, technologies assist in providing financial planning to help individuals plan for funeral expenses in advance. Cemetery management and GPS tracking. Cemetery management software and GPS tracking systems help funeral homes to optimize burial space, efficiently maintain cemetery grounds, and make it easier for families to locate grave sites of their loved ones. Advanced funeral service products. This technology has led to the creation of more advanced and personalized funeral products such as customizable caskets, urns, and memorial items, offering families a wider range of options to honor their loved ones uniquely. Overall, technology has not only streamlined processes within funeral homes, but it's also provided innovative ways for individuals to honor and remember their loved ones, fostering a more personalized and meaningful funeral experience. How technology enhances the customer experience and personalization. Online presence and communication. Funeral homes can have a strong online presence through websites and social media, making it easier for customers to find information about their services, read testimonials, and get in touch for inquiries or arrangements. Virtual tours and 360-degree videos. Using technology like virtual tours and videos, funeral homes can allow families to explore their facilities remotely. This can help reduce the pressure of visiting the location physically and provide a more comfortable experience for those in grief. We've seen the rise of the popularity of this feature on funeral home websites. It allows your prospective customers to experience the amenities of your funeral home. Digital planning tools. Funeral homes can offer online planning tools that guide families through the process of arranging funerals, choosing services, selecting caskets or urns, and personalizing the ceremony. These tools can streamline the process and ensure nothing is overlooked. Personalization of services technology can help funeral homes offer more personalized services by incorporating multimedia elements like videos, slideshows, and music that reflect the life and interests of the deceased. Customization options may include themed decorations, personalized digital directory signs, or memorial apps. Live streaming of funeral services. Funeral homes can provide live streaming services for family and friends who are unable to attend the funeral service in person. This technology allows distant relatives and friends to participate virtually, fostering a sense of community even when physically separated. Live streaming of, missed a slide there. Condolence and support platforms. Online platforms can be utilized to create memorial pages or guest books where family and friends can share condolences, memories, and photos. Digital memorial keepsakes. Funeral homes can offer digital memorial keepsakes such as ebook compilations, video recordings of the funeral service through the use of live streaming. These can be cherished by family members and friends as a lasting tribute. Augmented reality or AR memorials. This technology can be used to create memorials that allow people to visit a designated location and use their smartphones or AR glasses to access additional information or media related to the deceased. Mobile apps. Funeral homes may develop dedicated mobile apps that provide essential information that allow access to services and enable communication with the funeral director and offer support resources for grieving individuals. Data analytics for personalization. Funeral homes can use data analytics to gain insights into customers' preferences, trends, and needs, enabling them to offer more personalized services and improve customer satisfaction. It's essential to remember that while technology can enhance the customer experience and personalization in funeral homes, the human touch and empathy of funeral directors remains crucial. Technology should complement and support the personal connection, not replace it. The appropriate use of technology can create a more supportive and tailored experience for grieving families, helping them to navigate the funeral process with more ease and comfort. Exploring emerging technologies and their potential impact on the industry. We go back to VR and AR. VR and AR has the potential to revolutionize the way people experience funerals. VR could be used to create immersive virtual funeral services, allowing mourners from distant locations to attend and participate in the ceremony. AR could enhance memorial sites, enabling visitors to view interactive virtual tributes and view information about the deceased. 3D printing technology could be used to create custom funeral-related items such as personalized urns, memorial keepsakes, or even lifelike sculptures of the deceased. This technology could offer more unique and meaningful ways for families to remember their loved ones. Artificial intelligence or AI applications could assist funeral directors in managing their services more efficiently. AI chatbots could provide information and answer common questions about funeral arrangements, reducing the need for constant manual assistance. AI-driven sentiment analysis might also help identify grieving individuals who may require additional support. We've already seen the use of AI come into obituary writing services. Biodegradable and sustainable burial options. As environmental concerns grow, there could be an increasing demand for eco-friendly burial options. Emerging technologies might lead to the development of more biodegradable caskets, natural burial pods, or alternative funeral processes or practices that have a lower environmental impact. Online memorial platforms. The rise of digital memorial platforms could continue to offer new ways for people to remember and honor the deceased. These platforms could incorporate social networking elements, allowing family and friends to share memories, photos, and stories in a digital space. Drone technology might be used to capture aerial footage of funeral processions or memorial services, providing unique and lasting visual memories for the bereaved families. The use of blockchain for legacy management. Blockchain technology could be utilized to create secure and tamper-proof digital records of a person's legacy, including their final wishes, personal messages, and other important information. This could ensure that their wishes are accurately carried out after their passing. Live streaming of funeral services had already gained popularity during the COVID-19 pandemic. This trend will continue to grow, enabling more people to attend funeral services remotely. Like it or not, live streaming is here to stay. It has become the new norm. Seeing the powerful and emotional impact memorial tributes were having on families and guests that viewed them, I begin to wonder how digital technology could be applied to the digital directory sign. Most funeral homes were printing letter-sized pieces of paper and inserting them in frames on the wall. Then those funeral homes that were still using yellow plastic letters on the black felt boards. You know, some of you older funeral directors still probably remember those boxes of letters. You probably remember in your career dropping it at some point and having to spend the next hour sorting the alphabet out in those little cubicles. You probably remember trying to make letters, cutting little tails off of certain letters to try to make another letter because you ran out of them. Well, these types of digital directory signs were so impersonal. I thought if I could apply the concept of clear, bright, high definition digital signage to the directory sign, this could improve and provide an opportunity for a much higher level of personalization for the funeral industry that's never been achieved before. At this point in our lives, we've all been starting to be exposed to some form of digital signage on a daily basis, whether it be at the bank drive-through, the fast food drive-through lane, or on smartphones. It had become something that we'd almost come to expect. So I began to research on how we could provide this technology to the funeral industry. There really was no technology out there that could be borrowed from other industries to apply to ours. So I started testing different hardware components that would work in our industry. Our first system that we tested featured a small media player that could be installed behind a TV screen that would play back a JPEG image from a memory card. It worked sufficiently, with the exception that the funeral director always physically had to be at that location to swap out the memory card. The other challenge was that funeral directors didn't have access to libraries of stock imagery to make good looking content. So I just needed to create the tools so that they could create these good looking images, the background images, and put it all together. After all, funeral homes didn't have access to all these resources. So we contracted with a software company to develop a web-based software application that would do just that. So our first version, the user would go online from their computer and they would use our software, and they would select the number of services that they needed to display at that time. They would type in the service details, they would pick a background theme, and they would upload a photograph of the deceased. The software would then combine these individual images into a single image that would then be saved to the portable memory card. They would then take that memory card and insert it into the media player that was hidden behind the screen. And that image would then display on the screen. And we did that, that was our product for the first couple of years. As our evolution of our software started to evolve, I started in the beginning, let me step back. In the beginning, when we first designed that system, I tested that in my own funeral home to see how well it worked. I built a wood enclosure that housed the screen and the media player, and I installed it in the lobby of my own funeral home. And I began to closely observe the reaction from families and guests. And I must say, I was shocked at the reaction that we received. Families and guests were absolutely amazed. I couldn't tell you the amount of positive feedback I would get from guests. I had a steady flow of people coming in my office during wakes, telling me how they've never seen such a thing, and they couldn't believe how personal it was. No new hearses we've ever purchased, new couches, interior updates that we've ever done in the funeral home over the years had ever received that much positive feedback and comments. I knew at that moment this was technology that should be in every funeral home. Our efforts and focus from this point forward would be to bringing this digital signage product to the funeral industry. So in 2008, we launched the product line FuneralScreen to be more reflective of our new product direction. Advancements in cloud technology were coming into play. We partnered with a software company in developing a cloud-based sign software application for the funeral industry that would allow funeral homes to update their sign content without the need for memory cards or to be physically present at the location of the sign. In addition, we could now display dynamic content on the screen to further personalize the directory service announcements. We could display weather, date, time, RSS feeds. We could include pre-need advertisements, trust building ads, among other components that could be installed. We begin to build out and develop an extensive library of resources that are 100% dedicated to the funeral industry. We call this the FuneralScreen Resource Library. Within this library is a wealth of resources that funeral homes can access to create great looking content without having to be a graphic designer. They could create lifestyle themed directory announcements for decedent quite easily. In addition, we begin to build out a library of pre-need and trust building ads funeral homes can use to promote their pre-need program and to promote their business. They also have the ability to create these public service announcements on their own. So they could create any messaging that they wanted to display on their signs. We also worked on our hardware. We developed an extensive line of housing options for the screens that would aid in integrating digital signage into the funeral home decor. I just felt that a TV screen mounted on the wall was not the look most funeral homes wanted. We started using commercial grade screens instead of residential televisions. This would allow us to install the screens vertically or portrait to be more like a directory sign. Additionally, commercial grade screens didn't suffer from burn-in from having a single image displayed on the screen like can happen with residential screens. We partnered with a picture frame manufacturer to offer custom picture frame overlays that would attach to the screens to provide a more finished look and better integrate into the funeral home environment. This would become our Sedona product line. One of the most important partnerships was with a manufacturer of high-end furniture cabinetry. We partnered in the designing a series of custom cabinets that are available in wall-mounted and freestanding models that we call our Signature Series. In 2011, FuneralScreen was nominated and won the prestigious NFDA Innovation Award, and we were nominated and were finalists in 2015. And this is the first screen that enclosure that I was ever installed, and this was built and this was installed at Bolingbrook McCauley Funeral Chapel back in 2006. And this particular enclosure was built in my garage, and this housed a television screen and the media player. And speaking of inventors, let's talk about some of the early inventors within the funeral industry. These are people that spotted a need or a problem within the industry. A gentleman by the name of Almond Stroger had an undertaking business that was losing clients to a competitor whose telephone operator wife was redirecting everyone who called for Stroger to their company. He invented the first automatic telephone switcher way back in 1891. Seth Tufts, he was the inventor of the foldable chair. He also went on to invent a portable fire escape, a portable fence, a safety hatch cover for elevators, and an adjustable roof system for collecting water from cisterns. Richard Stone We owe the automobile turn signal to a fellow funeral director named Richard Stone. Although he never received the credit or profit he deserved, Richard Stone's idea did a great deal to improve driving safety. Richard Dosey was a funeral director who solved our blind spot problem. In 1975, funeral director Dosey was driving a hearse for Schrodinger Funeral Homes and almost got in an accident due to another vehicle entering his blind spot. At only 20 years of age, he began to brainstorm a way to create a blind spot mirror that would prevent dangerous incidents like this from occurring. Okay, we're going to talk about some of the product categories. FuneralScreen offers digital directory signs. We have electronic whiteboards, digital guest books, live streaming, touchscreen kiosk, and outdoor displays. Our software is able to have different signage components, and we're going to just do a quick run through of those. Within our software, you're able to display the date and time on any of the screens. You also have the ability to display the current temperature, as well as have any type of forecast that you want to have. That could be a single day, 3-day, 5-day forecast. Families in funeral homes find that extremely helpful. If you have a funeral the next day, you're able to see on the screen at the moment what the forecast is going to be. And that's all set by the zip code. So that could be set for any city and state. The scrolling message, you have the ability to have a scrolling message. So if you want to have a scrolling message appear across the bottom or top of the screen, that could be done as well within the software. The RSS news feed, you could program any news source you'd like, CNN, NBC, Fox News, and it will have a scrolling news feed either vertically or horizontally, and you could program that anywhere on the screen if you want to. It has the ability to display live television, and this could be useful for like a, let's say in your coffee lounge, for example. So it doesn't have to be full screen. So you could actually create a zone where you're displaying a live TV signal, and then the other half is devoted to advertising for the funeral home. You have the ability to display YouTube videos, as well as any social media feeds, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can display Google Apps, Google Calendar, and Google Sheets. And this screen shows a typical layout of our standard template, FuneralScreen template in our digital signage. This happens to be a landscape orientation. It could be portrait. But in the top left-hand corner, this would be your area where it displays the current date and time, and it could be different formats. The left side of that, in the middle, would be your current weather and forecast. That's displaying a 3-day forecast. But you also can brand it with your logo. So branding is important to us. We want to be able to show the branding of the funeral home. And you can optionally remove that whole sidebar altogether. So if you want to have the directory sign display none of that and just have it be all the digital directory sign, you can do that as well too. But you'll notice the layout there, the picture, the photograph of the decedent, the name of the deceased below that. You have the ability, if you use room names, to display the name of the chapel, and you have the service information in there. But you'll notice the background theme. This background theme happens to be brandy and cigars. This is one of several hundred background themes that you could choose from that reflect the lifestyle of that individual. And it could be profession as well too. But you have a free will to move things around on there. So maybe the family didn't provide you a photo and you want to make the text centered, you can do that as well too. And this is just an example of what a trust building ad would look like. And you have the ability to interlace. So there, you might want to have the trust building ad run along with a pre-need ad if you don't have any services going on, so something's on the screen. Or you have the ability to have it rotate from a service announcement showing the decedent's information for a service going on there, and then maybe display that for 15 seconds and then switch back to an ad. So you have total flexibility in how things are displayed. Some of our customers, they'll have a main lobby sign that obviously is displaying all the service information, but they may have room signs that mark the chapel locations or the room location. So what they'll do is, if there's nothing going on in chapel A and there's something going on in chapel B, they'll run ads on the chapel A screen while they're utilizing the chapel B. Just different ways of utilizing it. And this is an example of a pre-planning ad. There's well over 100 different pre-planning ads. And this is like your own ad agency that you have access to as a FuneralScreen client to be able to push out to the screens. And holidays, there's an assortment of holiday ads that you can run as well too. And you have the ability to run tribute videos. You know, companies like Tukio's, Frontrunner, most of them all now allow you to output your tribute videos in an MP4 format. And so you are able to run and push that MP4 file out to our servers. And so what it does is it eliminates the need for a DVD player at the screen. And with just a matter of adding a small digital signage player behind the screen, and you have the ability to push these tribute videos out right to the screen. So, and we're just going to run through some applications for digital signage around the funeral home. You know, of course, the obvious thing is in the lobbies, right? That's where families come in and that's where they're greeted as they come in the door. Lobby sign, that's showing a Sierra series. We'll get into that later. Above a register book where people are signing in. You have a captive audience obviously there, but you know, it's a good place to show weather for the next day and service details for the funeral. In your chapels, so you have the ability to incorporate some type of wayfinding. You could have symbols that point directions and give people, provide information. And you know, a sign like this could be placed right outside the door, be placed inside. Churches. So you think about remote venues, things like that outside the funeral home. We have a portable series that allows you to take digital signage on the road and gives you a more professional appearance, even outside your funeral home. Another example in church. And above the casket, you know, this particular one shows use of digital signage with an ultra short throw projector. And it's just a way to really personalize. In this example here, you know, this is utilizing our software in what we call digital portrait mode. So this might be an example where maybe the family chose not to do a tribute video, and maybe they didn't have enough photos, but there's always a reason to have that screen on there. So just using the software, you're able to just have a couple lines of text, put an epitaph, you know, the name of the decedent and the years in a photograph, and really have a background that reflects their lifestyle. And families just really love that you've gone that extra mile, and really shows you care. And it really shows that you're a modern funeral home with progressive ideas. And, you know, I talked about earlier in the webinar about how I added a television screen in my own funeral home above the casket. And this is actually taken from my own funeral home. And when we removed the drapery and we installed the screen above the casket, this is from there. And graveside services, you can, with our portable sign, we have an optional portable power pack that'll give you approximately 3.5 hours of power. So you have the ability assuming you're not in direct sunlight, you have the ability to take signage even outside where there's no power, just by plugging into the backup power supply. And like venues where senior centers, things like that, maybe there's a memorial service, you can take it there too. Okay, so we're going to get into our Signature Series product, which is our flagship product. The Signature Series product is a high-end custom cabinetry that fully encases the screen and all the components. As in all our screens, we don't use television screens. We use commercial grade screens, and there's a big difference. Besides, they cost more. They're designed to be on for much longer periods of time. Not to mention they have longer warranties, but they're designed at the minimum to be operational 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they also have wider viewing angles too. So, you know, when you move from side to side, televisions are not designed to go portrait or go vertically, whereas commercial grade screens are. And they just have a wider viewing angle, so it just makes more sense to use commercial grade screens. All the cabinetry is furniture grade. Most of them use cherry wood cabinetry unless something else is requested. Oak, sometimes we do oak also. All of our signs are cloud-based technology, and so what that means is, for example, let's say you did an update, you have a digital sign, and the family comes in and says to the wake attendant, says, hey, you know, my dad's name is spelled wrong. Maybe the wake attendant's not familiar with the software, maybe weren't trained, but with a simple phone call, anybody could log in from home. You don't need to be at the funeral home to do a minor change or do an update. Anybody can go in from any computer with internet access, and they could make a change and update that service announcement, which is great for funeral homes that have multiple locations or satellite locations. They can remotely update the sign content. They don't need to be physically limited to being at that location. And it also, being cloud-based, means that you don't have any type of server that you have to have installed at your location. We manage the server on our end. We just provide you a username and a login, your login credentials, and everything is remotely accessed. And we manage the day-to-day of the server. Now, the Signature Series has inscription options. You have the ability to have your funeral home logo or text engraved on the cabinet if you wish. And these are all made to order. You can get them in freestanding or wall mount, but they come in, the freestanding comes in 3 different sizes, and they're vertical only or portrait. They're 32, a 43, and a 55. And there's 4 different stain finishes that are standard. And you have the ability to, we also can custom match any stain if you send us a sample. The wall-mounted series are available in horizontal or vertical, and they're available in the 22, which would be normal size for like a over-the-register book or outside of a chapel or something like that, that smaller one. The 32s or 43s are more for the lobby. And these are over-the-door displays. So these are like kind of special applications. So maybe you have bifold doors that there's no room on the wall to mount at eye level. So these are designed to go above the door. So the top unit is made to go directly above, and the display is tilted down at a 15-degree angle and for wide viewing angle. And the one below it is a dual-sided over-the-door display. So kind of envision going down a hallway. Maybe your funeral home is structured so that the viewing rooms are left and right and opposite of a hallway. And so maybe you don't have room to, and you need something that projects out from the wall. This is what that's for, the dual-sided over-the-door display. So And it has dual screens on it, so it's actually has screens on each side of it. And this is a customer of ours that has a signature freestanding at Clary Glen Funeral Home. Now our Sedona series features freestanding, wall mount, and then a portable series. The main difference, instead of this having a cabinet, there's a frame overlay that dresses the front of the display up. Again, it has the same commercial grade screens. And then it has 12 different framing options. So there's virtually anything there to match your decor. Again, same is cloud-based as all our signs are. And then there's different mounting options for the wall. You could mount it portrait or landscape. And then if you need articulating mounts, things like that, we have those as well too. But that's available in 5 sizes. There's 22, 32, 43, 55, and there's a 65. And then the horizontal or vertical. And then the freestanding, it comes with that stand you see there, and that's available in a 22, 32, and a 43. The nice thing about these is they can kind of go flat against the wall, and the screen actually articulates left and right. So you can kind of angle it towards an entrance, but yet still have it flat against the wall. Portable signs. These are real quick deployment. These are literally set up in just minutes. The screen attaches to the stand, so you can get these placed real quick. And this is Harry from Gilpatrick Vandalay Funeral Home. And his testimony, he's actually described what I described earlier, people's reaction when they walk in the door. And it's just not, I tell a lot of our customers, you know, that you'll be amazed at the reaction that you receive from your families and guests going from paper or plastic letters to something digital. There's just, I can't stress that enough, this emotional reaction that you get from families when they see their loved one photo and it's personalized. It just means so much to them. Our Sierra series is available in wall mount, freestanding, and a portable, and all commercial grade screens. It's kind of a more modern look. The larger freestandings are available in 49 and 55, and they have tempered glass faces. Again, it's all cloud-based, so you can update it from anywhere. But the freestandings are available in 5 different sizes. The wall mounts available in 4 different sizes, vertical or horizontal. And then the portable, as you see, it comes with a carrying case there. But you also have that on the ground there is at the base is a portable backup battery. So that, like I said, will charge, that will power up the display in the computer for up to like 3.5 hours on testing. That allow you to go really portable without having to have any extension cords. And then we have, this is a new series for us, and it's basically allowing you to convert any iPad into a digital signage display. And you can flush mount these or on the wall, or you can, they're really thin, at only a 1/2 inch thick. You can basically cut a hole in the wall and don't have to worry about studs behind it because it's going to have the clearance for it. But you don't have to have any wires ran to it because the iPad can pop right out. But if you need just a small signage somewhere, maybe over a register book, something like that, using an iPad format, these docks is a good way to do that. Scheduler, this is using our software, and we just modify the software with a different signage template. And this will basically, the scheduler electronic whiteboard, think of it like your internal communications for your funeral home, right? So this gets all your cases out in front on the screen. This is not for public view. So funeral homes will put this like in their office. They maybe have one in their prep room. If they're multi-location, this is great because they could have all their services on one screen for all locations, and everything's in sync. Unlike a whiteboard where you're physically writing things down on it and it's never updated with other locations. When you make an update in this system, it pushes that update out to all the screens. So they automatically refresh across all the connected screens. And you're able to just start typing in, the service information, whether the casket's been ordered, livery's been ordered, who's going to be the director in charge, fingerprints taken, is embalming done, is there any special considerations, families first viewing, things like that. All these details could be put in there for that individual and be seen on the screen. And talking a bit about our sign managed software, as I said, it's all cloud-based, and so that means that basically any computer that you install the desktop software on and you have internet access to, and you're free to have as many users as you want, they can control the sign content for as many screens as you want individually. So you may have one screen playing one certain content on one and then certain on another. And we also offer managed services. So if maybe, you like digital signage, but maybe, you just feel like it's just not something that you want to do or learn, we have managed services for that. And with that, we'll completely manage the screen. You don't have to learn anything. And we create a website portal for you that you're able to submit all your services, and you tell us when it starts, tell us when it stops, and then we could totally control and manage your sign for you. And speaking of our FuneralScreen resource library, again, in there includes access to pre-designed templates and themes, backgrounds, symbols, icons. It's a huge library, and this is constantly being improved. We're always looking for suggestions for new background themes and adding those into the library. Now, this is a brand new product that we're going to be releasing next week. It's our digital registry product. And I'm sure some of you may be familiar with other products out there like this, but it's made to give you an option over paper-based guest books. And you have the ability to use this with an iPad or without. It is on an iPad platform, and it allows a user to sign a guest book electronically, and it collects all that data. And at the end of the service, when you end the service, it electronically sends that information to us, where we print the register book, and the family receives a register book that's pre-printed, it's legible. They have pre-printed thank you cards as well as pre-addressed envelopes. And you can choose whether it's mailed to the funeral home or directly to the family. Right at the interface, they can choose what language they want. So if they speak Spanish, they can just tap a button and everything's shown in Spanish. So right at the guest interface, they can switch between languages. You have the ability, just like our digital signage product, to change the background of the guest book, the electronic guest book, to personalize it to reflect the decedent's lifestyle. What's also kind of cool is that you can use your phone or iPad to take pictures of all the floral arrangements in the cards, and those could be added to the guest book. So there's a record of everyone that sent flowers. These are just some of the choices here of the different stands. And our website's going to show more of those. These are just a few of them, countertop. And we could retrofit a regular existing register book stand to house an iPad. Now, as I said, you have the ability to do it because it integrates with our digital signage platform. You could use QR code technology and incorporate that QR code onto the digital signage platform, onto the directory sign announcement, so that guests can use their smartphone and just simply take a picture with their smartphone, and then that opens up the app opens up an app on their phone where they can sign the guest book electronically without ever touching an iPad or a guest book. So it's really great for large wakes because it gives you multiple options for guest signing. All right, we'll see if we can't get this to work, but this just gives you, I'm going to show you a, go back here. See if we can go back one. Try to show you the interactivity of the book here. So this would be a printed book, what it would look like. You would have your funeral home name inside, your address, a QR code that take you to the to your website, the services info, the family record, the final resting place. You have an option to include a photograph, a poem or prayer. And then this would be all the guests that signed the guest book. And then there's a blank page in there in case someone wanted to write, the family wanted to write someone in. But these would be a sample of what the floral cards and floral offerings are. Ability to, upload a death notice, a prayer. Okay. And these are some of the book options. All right, so another product category that we offer is touchscreens. Touchscreens just basically allow you, give you an extension of your website up front in your lobby. So they could be programmed to show only your website, and people can drill down and get information about your funeral home. So kind of think, like I said, as an extension of your website. But they have integrated computers in there, all touchscreen, tempered glass faceplates, all metal housings. Okay, our live streaming product. So we offer a live stream studio kit, we call it, where it includes everything you need: iPad, the microphone, the tripod stand, the rig that holds everything together. The main difference takeaway from us compared to other live stream companies is we don't have any subscription fees and we don't have any time limits. Technically, you could stream a service for up to 8 hours and it wouldn't cost you anything more. We wouldn't cut it off. You could embed it anywhere, so it could be on any website. It's one-click install, and it's extremely easy to schedule through our interface that we create for you. You have your own login portal, and you just go on there with a few mouse clicks. It's very easy to schedule. You have the ability to have secure private viewing, so if you want password protection, it's just a checkbox that you check. There's no extra charge for that at all. And you have the ability to have custom streaming pages. And we basically have 3 pricing tiers, starting at $20 a stream. $20 a stream is no recording, and you could stream up to 8 hours, and you have the ability to have a password protected as well too. And the Plus has 1 week recording, and we host that on our platform for 1 week after the service is over, and that includes a private branded view page. So that would be branded with your funeral home logo. So when they go to view the live stream, your logo is prominently displayed there. And then the premium has the recording is hosted on our server for 1 year, and that has the page is embedded with you have the ability to have the obituary on there, as well as personalize the background and brand it as well too. So it's a much more custom obituary page than the others. Okay, so at this point, we're going to have our question and answer session.
All right, Jeff, very good. Just first question, you're still a funeral director then too. In addition to this, where is your funeral home?
Well, I'm my funeral home, we sold it. My brother wanted to retire, and we sold it about 3 years ago, and it's still in Bolingbrook. So,
And that's in Illinois. Okay.
yes, right.
Now, okay. Now, some of these you may have answered already. They came in earlier. But someone wanted to know, can you enter non-funeral information on the screen, such as events
Oh, sure.
happening in your town or events your funeral home is holding?
Right, yeah. So you can, within the resource library, you have the ability to take any of our background images and then put any text you like over it, and kind of make your own PSA announcements, if you will. And you have the ability to take, if you want to create a document like a PDF or something, or something outside of our software and bring it right in, you could do that as well too. So certainly you could do that. That's easily done.
Okay, here's a question from a funeral director. Does FuneralScreen provide frontal property, large outdoor signage? And if you do, what is the average lifespan of those very large screens?
Well, we do not, yes and no. We do not sell monument signs. I think you're talking signs like companies Watchfire, that type of thing. What we sell is, we do sell outdoor signs, but they're made to go applications where maybe there's an outdoor patio, but they're basically a weatherproof outdoor signage, and they're different variations of what they call the nit. Nit refers to the brightness of the display. So depending on the application, whether it's direct sunlight, maybe it's not direct sunlight, partial shade, will reflect in the pricing. But they've got weatherproof components in there. The old screens used to have built-in air conditioning and heating systems, but now they've kind of designed them so they don't need all that. We have some basic information on our website, but because there's so many variables in the applications and the pricing and things like that, we kind of quote them all, by needs. So, we need to know what size. Is it vertical? Is it portrait? Is it in direct sunlight? How much sunlight does it get? Because, a screen that's in more sunlight, direct sunlight, is going to need to be brighter than one that's not. So, and as far as I think the second part of that question was the life expectancy. That's hard to say. I mean, we've got screens that customers have used that, were purchased eight years ago that are still in operation. So,
Very good. All right, you may have touched on this a little at the end. What are the costs for screens and programs?
The cost per screen, they vary. For example, it's not, we sell them as a complete kit. So the screens are going to start at about $9.99, but that includes the screen, the computer. You're getting a Windows computer, you're getting the screen, and then you're also getting the mount that's going to mount it. So that's a complete system, a commercial grade screen, a Windows computer, and the wall mount to mount it. So depending on the size, obviously they're going to be more as they go up in size, and the series as well too. So
another question, can the family get a copy of the photo display?
So I think what you're saying is the image that's on the screen for the directory, is that somehow be able to output to like an image where the family could get it? Is that the question I'm thinking?
With all the different photos and everything up there, that's what they were looking for. Maybe get it on a DVD or something at some point.
Well, I mean, we're still confused by the question. So there's no, they certainly can take, and they do it all the time. Families take photos of the of the directory board. That's a pretty common thing. You know, they just take it with their phone, and you know, they obviously have that image up there. If you're referring to the memorial tributes, we don't produce memorial tributes ourselves. So for example, if a funeral home is using our signage platform to make a tribute video and running it through our platform, you know, they're not using FuneralScreen to produce that tribute video. So you know, they're still going to probably burn a copy of a DVD for that family.
Okay, all right, and got two more here. Can the use of drone technology be integrated into or with the live stream capabilities?
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to the maybe not in the live. That might be a little difficult to, you know, do in a live event. But I think it has the, you know, it has the capability to be done in post-production to kind of bring those two elements together.
Okay. All right, you're popular, Jeff. Just when I said a couple more, they keep pouring in, so that's great. Okay. So this one just popped in. What is the backup plan when network or connectivity issues arise with the displays? Is there a mechanism in place to ensure that a display is not blank or displaying error during a service when a connectivity issue arises?
Right. That's a great question, and that's a very valid one. Okay, so the signage system has it has cache technology, and so what that means is you need the internet to get the initial update, and that information is cached into the system. So technically, once, like you're, let's speak in terms of a directory sign, right? Once it caches that information into the system, it's stored in there. You can lose the internet and it's still going to display the information. Now, technically speaking, if you lost internet, like weather is a dynamic content, right? So that's pulling from a weather service and looking for that information. So if it was out long enough, the worst that would happen is you would not see a weather icon. But your information as far as the directory goes, the photo, the service information, that information is cached into the system. So that's always going to be there. So even if you lost internet, you're not going to lose that information. And there's even a backup plan for that. Let's say, and I've never, you know, all the years I've never really had anybody had to do this, but I mean, if you didn't have internet at the time and you needed to do a sign update, you could actually export it onto a USB thumb drive and from your desktop computer in the office, and you could walk over to the screen and insert that USB memory stick into the signage player and be able to transfer that update into the signage player.
Okay. And the person who asked that question just said, excellent, thank you for that. Very good. All right. If you have more than one screen, do you need a computer for each screen?
Yeah, right. So what we found out over the years now, you know, let's just, so we're talking on, we're talking the same thing here. You know, you're always going to have your office computer, right? That's, you know, that's the computer you use to, you know, access the signage player, you know, use our software and do the updates. But there's what we call small form factor computers that drive the information to the screen. And these are installed behind the screen or in the cabinet. And this is what communicates to our servers through either Wi-Fi or internet, through a Wi-Fi or a LAN, you know, hardwired connection, Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable. And that's what drives the information to the screen. So when you're on your office computer and you make a change and you send that information out, that gets sent to our FuneralScreen servers. The servers in turn send that information to that signage player remotely at that local screen. So technically speaking, if you had two screens that were going to be playing the same exact content and they were the same orientation, you could get a splitter and be able to split that HDMI signal out of that signage player and run it to 2 different screens. But it's really not cost effective to do that for the price of a signage player. It's cheaper to just each have its own computer. And by doing that, you're able to have each sign be able to play its own content. So, you know, if you want to have, you know, a front entrance screen play, you know, something different and it's on the rear entrance, you have the ability to do that. The moment you start sharing screens on a single computer, you lose that ability.
Okay, and a final question. Are there things customers, families have started asking for that FuneralScreen is considering adding?
Well, I mean, we're always looking for new product ideas in that. You know, what we get asked for a lot is different ideas as far as the backgrounds and things like that. So, you know, I'm always encouraging my funeral home customers to, you know, we don't have all the ideas as far as, you know, what the families want to see. So, you know, even though it's may not be the most popular one, I mean, we've created backgrounds for model train hobbyists. I mean, you know, we know, you know, I know when I was creating it that wasn't going to be a popular one that people were seeking out. But, you know, if you have one, I'll be glad to create it quickly. But, you know, we're always trying to be innovative and looking for new technologies. And in our electronic guest book, in an integration with our digital signage platform is what we've been working on lately, and we're excited to be launching that product now and always looking for new things in the future.
Okay, and what's the best way for people to reach you? I see the website is on the bottom of this slide.
Let me,
there.
Well, I have that up there, and I just wanted to share a couple final thoughts, if I may, Stan.
Sure, go right ahead, Jeff.
Embracing technology, I just want to give you some encouragement. In the funeral industry can bring numerous benefits and improvements that can make even a meaningful impact on both funeral professionals and the families they serve. And so here are some thoughts and encouragement to help embrace technology. Technology allows for more personalized and unique funeral experiences, from digital memorial websites and video tributes to custom designed directory announcements. Families can create lasting memorials that truly reflect the life of their loved one. Technology enables family and friends from around the world to participate in funeral services. Live streaming of funeral ceremonies allows distant loved ones to be present, fostering a sense of connection and support. Funeral planning involves many details, and technology can simplify the process. Online tools and apps can assist funeral directors in managing arrangements, scheduling communications with families more efficiently. With the increasing focus on sustainability, technology also offers eco-friendly alternatives in the funeral industry. Digital guest books, electronic death certificates, and biodegradable materials contribute to a greener approach. Creating online memorials or virtual tribute pages can provide a lasting space for sharing memories, stories, photos, and condolences. These platforms can help keep memories alive long after the funeral service. By embracing technology, funeral professionals can stay updated on the latest industry trends, techniques, and best practices. Webinars like this, online courses, and forums provide valuable opportunities for continuous learning and improvement. Technology aids in maintaining accurate records, facilitating legal requirements, and organizing essential paperwork. Embracing technology demonstrates a willingness to adapt to modern times and meet the changing expectations of clientele. It positions funeral homes as forward-thinking and customer-oriented businesses. By incorporating technology, funeral services can transform from traditional rituals to vibrant celebrations of life. Embracing technology doesn't diminish the significance of the event, rather it elevates the experience, creating a more memorable tribute to the deceased. Remember, technology is a tool that can complement and enhance the compassion and caring nature of the funeral industry. It doesn't replace human connection, but rather facilitates it in a new and meaningful ways. Embracing technology in the funeral industry is a step towards embracing progress and providing families with the best possible support during their time of loss. Thank you everyone for attending today's webinar. Really appreciate it.
All right, Jeff, and that's what I was just going to say too. Thank you everyone for joining us. Be sure to keep an eye out for our follow-up email, which will include today's webinar recording. That should come sometime tomorrow. So look out for that. And have a great day, everyone. Again, thank you very much, Jeff. Very interesting. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye, everyone.